Hello, and welcome to Northeastern University Theater Department's virtual tour of our spaces. My name is Samantha Rickert-Boehm, and I'm an assistant teaching professor in the theater department. And I am involved with a lot of non-major courses as well as major courses. And so what our goal is today is to just walk you through a couple of the different spaces that we use in lieu of you actually coming to view our spaces. So let's start, shall we? This first space is the Blackman Auditorium. This is located in the Curry Student Center. Now, I'll preface this by saying we actually don't use this space either that often or at all, but a lot of the theater clubs on campus do. These theater clubs are acting out, NU Stage. They put on full-blown productions in this space. And as you see, it's a typical style proscenium setup, which is really great for a lot of different speakers that come through and just to give a nice theater event scenario. Going over to our dance studios, which are also located in the Curry Student Center. These are studios that you can reserve via online, via in person. And what these studios are about is typical dance studios that have mirrors almost all around, but at least on a couple different sides. There's a sliding door in the middle of two dance studios that can actually be removed to be one big studio space. I've actually reserved this room many times for my classes, and I know other students have reserved them for rehearsal spaces, etc. The people you are seeing in these photos are not theater students, although they might be. But this is from a belly dancing club on campus. And so these were just images we found online. Again, we put this together really quickly for you in hopes of getting you a nice idea of the spaces we have on campus that you can use for your own theater purposes. Now, moving on to Writer Hall, which is where our theater department is located and where we spend a lot of our time. On the fourth floor is our new office location. This is our new office location as of this year. So we're still getting used to it, but it's got a really nice layout to it, freshly painted walls, if you will, nice views of the campus and Boston in general. What you are seeing with your image on the left is a hallway as you enter. So as you enter, there's a lobby area where you will find a work study student able to greet you. The call board that you can sort of see to the right with the calendar of a show, and that's where you can sign up for auditions. That's where you will see postings for shows in the Boston area that you can go see, and whatever else students might have going on. Through that hallway, you see those doors. Those are our faculty offices, which you are also welcome to come by at any time. And then around the corner is where you see this next image. So this is our sort of get-together space. There's a bookcase to the left that you can't see, with a bunch of different plays and theater books. And right behind is a place where there's a microwave, and we have a fridge and a nice little tea kettle area with a bunch of tea selections. And so this is where students get to come hang out and do some homework, get together, work on some plays, maybe even work on your physics homework, right? So it's a nice place to get together and join with the theater faculty and staff as well. Also in Writer Hall, we have our main two classrooms. This is the first one, which is classroom 372. 372 meaning it's on the third floor of Writer, room 72 of the third floor. This is one of our more studio spaces, which is very similar to the dance studio. The first image you see is a NU Stage production that was having a rehearsal in that space. This is a room that you can also reserve for different rehearsal aspects. To the right, the image on the right, is another group that is rehearsing in this space. But I like both of these images in that what you see in the first image is that black curtain across it. And that curtain is actually hiding a mirror and a window to Writer Hall in the background. So you can use this mirror space for your different rehearsal aspects, as well as there's a window to the outside world so you don't feel closed off, so to speak. We also have some nice chairs in there, some rehearsal blocks as well. This is a space that we typically like to work in. We rehearse a lot of our productions as well in here if they haven't moved on to the studio space yet, which we'll get to in just a second. This next space is the Writer Theater Lab. This is also located on the third floor, room 334. Now, the Writer Theater Lab is a newer space for us, or a newly designed space for us. So this is the outside look of it. Obviously, it doesn't look like that now because these are images that were design elements. So that's the entryway, and that's the basic setup on the right of what the space looks like on the inside. With lights, we have a nice grid up top that we use for our lighting class, as well as there's a theater group on campus called Silver Mask, and they do a lot of performances in this space, as well as we do performances in this space. So it's a nice black box theater, so to speak. Speaking of performances, here are our different performances that we have had in this space. The first image that you see is a rehearsal in the space, and that's actually me in the little green. Yep. We were rehearsing for the Boston Theater Marathon, which Northeastern generally participates in every year. And that is Jonathan Carr in the orange, and a current student sitting next to him, and then an alumni student in the back. And this is basically what you would see in a classroom setting, as well as a rehearsal setting. Then the three images that you see are from our past productions, two being from our William Shakespeare Abridged show, and the other being our production of A Doll's House. So what you see is these different perspectives. You can use the stage, the space in any way, shape, or form. In a proscenium setting, in an arena setting, in a tennis setting or a thrust setting where you have the play or the action in the middle and then on two opposite sides. There's a lot of different components that you can use here, which is really great. And it's also great to mention that the Writer Theater Lab is generally seating about 60 people, so we can get in a fair amount of people. And like I said, we do have our classrooms in here a lot as well. We also do a lot of site-specific theater for the Northeastern University, and we are also wanting to expand that. So we'll be doing a lot more of that in the future. This is one in particular that started as a devised theater class with David Gammons, who's a in-house director in Boston, really well-known, award-winning and award-nominating, and he works at a lot of different universities, and we were so happy to have him. This started as a class that went on to a performance that was basically in Writer Hall and using different rooms, using different settings, forcing its audience to interact with them as well as question themselves as theater goers and theater participants as well. So like I said, we're really trying to go further in that direction and do more things like that. Then we have the studio theater. So this is our main theater space. This is located in Curry Student Center, where I showed you Blackman Auditorium and the dance studios as well. That first image you see to your left is the entryway. So that's what students see when they come into the theater. Now, why this is really cool is because it's in the Curry Student Center. So what that means is that a lot of times people are like, I don't know where the theater is. Where's the theater? It's smack dab where all the students know to go and where all the students generally meet up, where, say, a lot of the dining options are. So you can go get some food and go get some theater. It's a pretty great time. The studio theater entryway is a newer setup, so that has been renovated recently. It has some really cool designs on it with a nice marquee out on the side. And we're also trying to transition to a more paper-free platform in terms of programs. So that's what that screen is for as well, is to help engage our students and to give them more knowledge about our shows and what we're about to be doing. These are some past stills from our productions, very recent productions. The bottom being our production of Blythe's Spirit, the top right production being our production of Everyman, and then the bottom production being a production of The Skin of Our Teeth. Now, why I like these three images is because you're seeing a very different setup of what the studio can accomplish. Like I said, it's very black box based. You have a particular proscenium style with the bottom two, and then the top right, Everyman was set like a dance club. And so the whole theater was turned around, audience was sitting anywhere, and it really made for an interesting collaborative theater experience with our participants as well as the actors on stage. Then we just have some other images, stock images of our past productions, just to give you an idea of a lot of the different things that we are doing. For instance, the middle photo, that is the studio theater, what the audience are sitting on. So you have the stage portion, and then from the stage, you are looking at that. You're looking at the rows that go up where the theater seats would be. And then the images around are different stock images of the different shows that we have done. And so there's a lot of different things that we can do with this space. And we have students that end up directing. We have students that design. We have guest artists from Boston that come in and design or direct. So we're always trying to not just stay within our own realm at Northeastern, but really branch out and give our students as much experience in the real world as possible. What's also great about this space is that me being a professional actor, this is a very similar space to what I might be performing in Boston. So again, we're really helping our students by giving them a sort of look into what they might get into in the real world already. The last slide that I'm showing you is just our very most recent production of Mary Stuart. This was this past February, March. And so these three images are from that production. Mary Stuart was directed by Antonio Campo Guzman, who is our current department chair of the department. And we had a really great turnout for this. A lot of these students are graduating as well. And so as our last performance before all of this happened, it was a really great send-off for our theater department. So I thank you for joining us on this virtual tour. And you can email any of my colleagues in the theater department, and we'd be happy to answer any and all questions that you may have about our spaces or just any inquiries at all. Thank you so much.